Like to welcome everyone. I know this is a busy time of the year. We just started a semester. So, and there are many business meetings which are run over these days. So I appreciate your taking the time to join us today. In the Cooperative Strategies IG, we have a we work as a team. We want to maintain that spirit of cooperation. So even though I'm formally the current chair,
Standing on hypotheses.
Okay, yes, even though I'm for the chair, so is the entire leadership team here is happy to host you all. And as a reminder, Anika Agiris, he is the program chair, and Umit. I don't know if Umit was before connected. Maybe she had a problem with the connection. She's the associate program chair. And typically, the program chair is in charge with the program, with the incoming conference program. And so he was the one who handled all the submissions and made all the decisions regarding the acceptance and the sessions. And Umit is typically she has been Umit as an associate program chair. She has been in charge with the Sunday panels together with several of the officers here, also known as representative at large. So I'll hand it over to Nick, who's gonna give us a short presentation of the IG cooperative strategies activities in the last year, and he will also talk about things that we plan for the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Denisa. Yes, I want to zip through some of these perfunctory slides at the beginning so we have as much time as possible for discussion about what we want to do as a IG in the coming year. So here is the agenda. As I said, we're going to just review some of the highlights from this past year and some of the facts about the IG I think that you already know. Here are, you can see a list of our interests. I think you're all quite familiar with these kinds of topics and arrangements. I think you're aware of our mission, which is to develop and promote cooperative strategy as a critical research domain. Here is our pictures of our distinguished past chairpersons, and you can see Denisa coming to the end of her term as chairperson. The current leadership team that Denisa just introduced. Here are our current reps at large. We have three that I think are joining us. Darcy, Anna, and Nuno are here. I did see Navid. Giorgio, I think, is not on the call, and then Linda. So three of these will be turning over next year, and three will be remaining. Darcy, Anna, and Nuno will be the end of their terms. So we will be looking for their replacements. Giorgio will remain as engagement officer. So we are looking for, if you're interested, two candidates for the associate program chair position to replace Umit. And we're looking for 6 candidates for the 3 representatives at large positions. So if you are interested, or if you know anyone that might be interested, please email Umit or any of us, frankly, and that would be greatly appreciated. We're going to be having elections coming up shortly in the next month or so. This is describing the election process, just that you know, the members of the reps serve a 2-year term that is non-overlapping. And then the other position, the associate program chair position, gets promoted to program chair and then chair of the IG in subsequent years, and then we refill the associate program chair role. I think you're all kind of familiar with that process. Here's the timeline. So if you could get your nominations for the positions in by October 15th, that would be great. If you maybe talk to some colleagues at the SMS meetings, if you're going, get them interested in serving as running for rep at large or running for associate program chair, that would be great. We need bodies, of course, to run our program at the meetings and do other activities. Here's
sorry,
yes, go ahead, Denisa.
Before moving forward with the membership, just wanted to say that if you were on the ballot in previous years, it would be great if you consider running again, irrespective of the previous year's elections. So we really welcome you to participate the second time. The other thing I wanted to mention is that you can also suggest names for us, and then we would be happy to to email the persons that you nominated and see if they would be interested to participate.
Yes, and I would just add that some of these elections are relatively close. So you might have lost in a close election. And that, so you shouldn't be discouraged if you lost in the past to run again. Our membership has fluctuated, as you can see, a little bit, but we're roughly around the 300 level. I think we lost some members, I think, during COVID and regained, but I think we're pretty stable around the 300 members on the IG, and their representation is sort of, as you would expect, dominated by North America and Europe. All right, so let's talk about some projects, and this I'd like to start with discussion with you. Last year, 2022, we had a number of webinars that were quite successful, and I'd like to know if anybody would be interested in our reps at large, or frankly, any member, in organizing a webinar later this fall and building on the momentum from the SMS meeting. In the past, we've had I guess I'd say 3 types of webinars. One would be sort of career oriented for doctoral students or junior faculty, career advice oriented. A second has been sort of purely academic, and a third has been sort of an academic practitioner interaction. We don't have to limit ourselves to those 3, but I wanted to open it up to see if anybody had some ideas or was interested in contributing to a webinar this fall, say October, November, or early December. What do you think?
Well, I don't mind actually. I'm the rep at large, so I don't mind organizing one.
So Navid, hello everybody, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, because I had some issues. So Navid, actually, I think you are a perfect person to organize a webinar about intersection between academicians and professionals, right? Because you have connections to some NGOs, right? And some professionals from the pharmaceutical healthcare industries. So would you be willing to take
Sure. I'll try.
Okay.
I can do the academic one, but I can do the intersection one.
Yeah, I mean, just
I don't have much advice for PhD students, but
yes, Denisa.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge here Marvin Heinisch, who started the dialogues in these dialogues between academics and practitioners, and he ran a number of very successful webinars. So it would be great to approach Marvin. I'm pretty sure he would be happy to share from his experience. That's one thing I wanted to mention. The other thing I wanted to mention is, of course, you know, what makes these webinars attractive or easier to run relative to opening a session for the SMS Sunday panels is that we can have them online. For practitioners, this is a plus because they don't need to travel to where we hold our annual conferences. And they are typically well attended and appreciated by members. So please, by all means, contact us and also talk to Marvin about how he organized these practitioner academic dialogues. And of course, any other topics that you would like to propose in your research domain that you think there could be topics for discussion in the cooperative strategies IG.
So sure. So I'm happy to build on the momentum of one of our panels this year at SMS on cooperative strategies for global challenges, and bring in another practitioner and then set up something for December.
Perfect. Thank you.
That sounds
perfect.
Umi, did you have something?
No. So I'm like, okay, I was thinking we got, one checked, right? So we have 2 more webinars. And so Nick, you have mentioned the October 15, right, as the deadline. And so, you know, anyone with the webinar ideas, they can contact me, or like anyone who is the person for them to reach out. I mean, I can, you know, I'll be very happy you know, to be the person to, you know, receive those nominations or, like, you know, suggestions. So, and then I'll be very happy to share it with Nick and Denisa, so that we have this, you know, more efficient, centralized discussion.
Yes. Umit, you'll be receiving the nominations and you'll be providing them to the SMS for the elections.
Right.
Yes. Okay. So grand challenges has been a popular topic, both for panels and for webinars and dialogues. That's great. I wanted, since we're all here, to take advantage of the fact that we've got a lot of minds together to brainstorm a couple of ideas for the next calendar year. No commitments, but if you have any ideas for the winter or spring, I invite you to share them now.
For winter, spring, you mean that would be an online form, right?
Yes, these would be the dialogues online. I'm not asking for anyone to commit to organizing them, but if you have any ideas for topics that you think would interest you as members, I'd like to write those down and work with the reps next year to get them implemented.
Yeah.
Well, hi everyone, good to see you. So Nick, do you have, so because you mentioned 3 types of webinars, well, we don't have to commit to the 3 types or limit ourselves, but would the idea be to try to deliver these different types? So we have one coming up, or we're preparing one in October or November about practitioner academics kind of interface. Are you more thinking in terms of then one more academic webinar, another one that's more in terms of career advice, like to diversify, or a particular type?
Yeah, I think, you know, I think any of those, I think whatever, I'm trying to gauge members' interest. So, you know, maybe another one with the practitioner, whatever you guys think you're interested in, we could do.
Yeah, I see on the chat, like Darcy is already saying something about cooperative strategies and AI and building up on blockchains, as Marvin has already organized great stuff on that. I think, yeah, kind of the corporate strategy is kind of 2.0 and what it means, and in terms of transformation as well. So in terms of, yeah, which I think builds directly on these global challenges or grand challenges ideas. But I think that's kind of the way I see it in terms of, yeah, cooperative strategies going forward, either in terms of solving or for social transformation, or in terms of, yeah, digital, broadly speaking, and broadly define it. Happy to put some more concrete thoughts together and share them with Omid and Denise and Unique, and then you can be the judge how it fits. And yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I would also be, sorry.
Yeah. So just that is great, actually. Thanks very much, Nuno. So actually, Nuno and we had this, the one of the panels, right? The intersection between cooperative strategies and innovation, right? The dynamics. Initially, it was a panel about AI, and Nuno and I actually, we spent quite a bit of time and exerted some effort. But we had some challenges, so that is a great idea, Nuno. So I really appreciate that you are willing to give it another try. So we had quite a bit of challenges to invite people, but like with this webinar format, and then if we allow us a little bit longer time, I really hope that this time it's gonna work out better. And let me know how I can help you. And then others who are interested in, yeah, that's a great topic. Thank you.
Okay. Any other ideas?
So Nick, I got an idea. Sorry, was there anyone else?
Yeah, so sorry. No, I just wanted to say hi, everyone, and if I can support these initiatives in any way, no, I'm happy to do so, having done this a couple of times in the past. Also, I like the idea about this AI topic. That's very promising, especially considering that a lot of these AI technologies arise out of collaborations between different firms. So most of the time, it's not the big tech companies that develop these technologies themselves, but it's rather that they partner up with startups and other entities develop them. So that could be really interesting. And I would also be interested in any topic related to the governance aspect of these AI technologies. So that would be also very interesting to see how this is done from a practitioner perspective.
Yeah. Thank you, Marvin. Okay, well, if you think of anything else, any other additional topics, please feel free to email myself or Umit. And we will work on that for next.
I beg your pardon, Nick. This is Leo. So I have no idea what how exactly the organization side works, but I'm happy to help organizing a session on United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. I think it's related to the grand challenges that you mentioned.
Okay. Okay, Leo, great, thanks. We may follow up and maybe pair you with a rep at large, or maybe you will run to be rep at large and be elected and be in charge of that, or we'll follow up with that. That sounds great. I'm interested in those sustainability goals too. Okay, so moving on, I wanted to alert you that just last year, the SMS launched something called the SMS Member Circle that you can easily find on the SMS website. That is an online space that allows you to post and read posts by others. I've looked through some of these posts. I see that people are finding collaborators this way. They're asking for literature suggestions. So I think it's quite a useful thing. You're also enabled. You're also able to mark posts as inappropriate. There's a special button for that. I don't know if it's been used yet, but I just wanted to alert you if you weren't aware that that resource exists. All right, some highlights for the upcoming Toronto conference. We had 62 submissions in the IG, 44% acceptance rate, which is pretty similar to previous years, maybe a couple more than last year. Our reviewer scores were higher. I don't know if it's statistically a significant difference, but either our proposals are better or our reviewers are easier. I think probably our proposals are better than the average. We have 2 panel sessions at the conference, 1 common ground session, and 5 paper sessions. So I think the IG is in good shape in terms of soliciting submissions and sustaining interest in the topic of cooperative strategies. And I'm going to now turn it over to Umid to describe the panels that she put together with a lot of effort on her part and a lot of emails. So I think we should thank her for all her efforts here. Umid?
Thank you. And also I would like to thank to Repeat Largest, especially to Navid, for leading the organization of our panel on global strategies and cooperative strategies in the wake of globalization. Sorry, Navid, I don't remember the full title. And I really appreciate, as I have mentioned, apologies for the background noise, Nuno's efforts, especially when we were looking for AI people. So this is a teamwork. Thanks very much to everyone. And I am really looking forward, to SMS and hope you can join us. So we'll have 3 IG panels on Sunday. So the first one is the dynamics between cooperative strategies and innovation. And we have really interesting set of panelists, Nanjia from USC, Atul Narkar, Rita Katila, and Gautam Ahuja. I have asked them to send me, 10 minutes of, slides, PowerPoint slides about the topic. I have been waiting to hear from them, but Nanjia had briefly mentioned to me that she is interested in talking about AI. And Rita, Atul, and Gautam, I believe they will talk about, again, from their own perspective, really interesting dynamics about how will the future of innovation change, in the wake of global changes. And this is going to be, to a large extent, a freestyle panel in terms of the content. But I had mentioned that it would be great if they can talk about how the AI, as a recent technological change, or how the pandemics or the other global crises, such as war in Ukraine, would change the dynamics between innovation and cooperative strategies as just one of the leading guidelines. So Nick, would you mind just turning to the other slide? Thank you. Thank you. And then actually, so this is the first panel in terms of the time, because that is the first one. It starts at 8 a.m. to 9:15, and that is gonna be mediated, or that has been organized by Navid, and it has a lineup of really interesting colleagues: Tarun Khanna, Kulwant Singh, Exahir, Dovev Lavi, and Africa Arino. Navid, if you would like to jump in to talk a little bit more about the content, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, sure. So, so the topic, cooperative strategies for global challenges, I think this was partly motivated by my readings about Gavi, Global Vaccine Alliance, immunization and vaccines. And the basic idea is the issue of tragedy of the commons and why we need cooperation theoretically to deal with the tragedy of the commons. So using that as a theoretical framework, and that was my framing when I communicated with people, so Tarun kindly accepted to talk about the healthcare sector, public healthcare sector and what he has been doing in India particularly. Kulwant will be talking mainly about global liner shipping industry and the tragedy of commons and alliances and pollution. Aksa here will be talking about trust between public-private relationships. Dovev will be talking about his very recent exciting projects on platforms for cooperative for global challenges. And Africa Arinio is going to present a very interesting set of slides on governance of public-private relationships. So in some ways, all these topics dovetail nicely together and create, I think, a coherent session. So each one will be talking about only 7 minutes. And because we have we have 5 panelists, and then at the end, we will have Q&A.
We lost your audio.
Amit, we cannot hear you. You are muted.
Apologies, yes. The last session is like in terms of the chronological order as well. The one on the future of cooperative strategies. So initially we had 4 panelists, in addition to Asim Kaul, Jeff Royer, and that is Gautam Ahuja. So Nick, I think there is a typo here. Gautam Ahuja will be also a panelist here. I don't know Lise Kulenius. She is. So the last person is Gautam Ahuja. Actually, there must be some mix-up over there. And initially, exactly, Gautam Ahuja. So Gautam has kind of accepted to be a panelist actually in 2 of the Sunday panels. And the 4th person was initially Ranjay Gulati, but Ranjay just a couple days ago emailed to me and said that with a very high likelihood he's not going to be able to make because he has to take care of a, unexpected personal issue. And so since we have 3 people, so I plan to give 15 minutes to each presenter, and I have asked them their PowerPoint slides, still waiting for them. And then we'll have a Q&A session, about 30 minutes or so. Honestly, I am highly optimistic that there will be some really interesting discussions. I have received Jeff Royer's PowerPoint slides, and he will be talking about, again, how the governance and, formation and performance of alliances will be affected by the global changes. And then again, looking forward to receiving Gautam and Asim's slides. So overall, I think we have really, really interesting lineups, and looking forward to seeing all of the IG members on the Sunday panels.
Okay, thank you, Umit. Now moving on to the Best Proposal Awards. So every year, the IG gives awards for first place and runner-up for best paper, best proposal. We do that by the program chair, that was me, selecting the top half dozen or so based on the reviewer ratings, and then the 3 leaders of the IG discuss which ones they'd like to give award to based on the importance of the contribution and the writing quality. So we'd like to now announce those awards. The Best Proposal Award, and if I could have a drum roll, that would add to the drama. Leviathan as a client, public and private contracting of desalination technologies to address water scarcity. And that's Ilza Kivlanis, Leandro Pongolupe, and Sergio Lazzarini. I think Leo and Sergio are on the call. Are you there?
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yes, very well done.
Congratulations.
Sergio, I think you're going to present this paper the next week here at WashU.
No, it's actually tomorrow.
Is it
Everybody's
tomorrow?
invited.
Yes, it's tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you.
And you'll be receiving a certificate to prove that you won this award if anyone audits you.
That's great. Thank you.
The runner-up is managing evolving ecosystems, how orchestrators balance high and low levels of control during ecosystem evolution. That's Alexander Goritz, Tim Meyer, and Christoph Lechner. I think I saw Alexander and Christoph on the call. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
You will be receiving a digital certificate as well. And next we have Outstanding Reviewer Awards. They go to David Clue. I think that's how you pronounce it, David, is that right? Or Clough?
Clough.
Clough, okay, David Clough, Elizabeth Mueller, and Nuno Oliveira. I think Nuno and David are on the call. Elizabeth, I think, was on, but then had to leave. But thank you for your wonderful reviews and your hard work on behalf of the IG. And you will be receiving the certificates as well. Okay, so we have some time now for ideas about what we should do as an IG outside of what we discussed already. Are there, which are the dialogues, webinars, activities at the conference?
Nick, do you mind if I just jump in and then advertise our joint social with the competitive strategies?
Please.
So we are looking forward to seeing everyone from our IG and from outside of our IG as well, maybe potential members to join us. And guilty as charged, honestly, I really do not remember the time, but I'm gonna go check. And then I will send an email to everyone. So yeah, see you there.
Great, thank you, Umit. Yes, so at this point, I wanted to, so we've got members on the call. I'd like to see if you have ideas about what you'd like us to do as an IG that maybe we aren't doing, or anything we're doing that you'd like to see us do more of or less of. What are your expectations for?
So, Nick, I have a question about our membership. Of course, I can see we have lost some members from 2021, but how would that compare to other IGs? Is it probably COVID had something to do with it? But do we see the same downward trend for other IGs, or is it like we are losing some, they're gaining some?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer, Naveed. I will say that I have talked to leaders of corporate strategy and competitive strategy, and they both said they lost some members during COVID when people didn't attend, but I don't know how many. And I we didn't quite get into the details about whether we've lost more or less, but that's a good question, and I'll follow up on that at the meetings with those other leaders. Okay, any other comments or thoughts?
Just a question for Umit. When is this social?
I will let you know. I don't know it
Okay.
yet for sure. I have emailed Anna, but like a quick tip. So there will be lots of additional snacks. So so there you go, another incentive. But yes, probably within a couple of days, I'll just send an email.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, so far, in terms of activities, we have, of course, the program, including panels. This year, we did not have a PDW. Last year, we did have a PDW. So that's another potential activity for the conference. Then we have, of course, these dialogues that we'd like to add. And of course, we have the social. Are there other activities that you might like to see, or?
Just some ideas. We made pretty good progress, or basically way forward, by delivering short podcasts to executives, so especially to the practitioner. So for example, you can talk 5 minutes about what is a digital platform, what is the governance structure of a digital platform, which examples you have. So I think if you want to connect more to the practitioner world, I think that might be an interesting way to go. And clearly, I think most of our universities have regular talks with academics, but mostly these academics are then coming clearly, which is interesting, and speaking about topics perhaps we are not really working on. But you could also go in the topic you mentioned before, towards a series of, let's say, a year 3 paper presentations, yeah, where you say you basically give 45 minutes, then you have 15 minutes presentation, or 20 and 20 on a discussion. And then everybody who might be interested, especially in cooperative strategy, would have a much more narrow focus as opposed to a much broader focus. So these are just 2 ideas.
So Christoph, with your could you elaborate on your second idea a little bit?
So we have normally a range of that we have guests each 2 weeks from various universities, and these people make a paper presentation, yeah, a research presentation.
You're talking about at St. Gallen, is that right?
Yeah, it's St. Gallen.
Yes.
But let me put it that way, I would say from 10 papers that I'm listening to, or that we can listen to, perhaps 1 is falling into my area of interest, yeah?
Oh. Okay.
So the 9 others are not, and I assume it's the same at your universities, okay? Therefore, it might be the idea perhaps that you say you go for such a paper presentation voluntarily 3 times a year, and one of us, as a member of the interest group, is presenting a paper, and then the others can comment, can discuss it, even matter, and then you really can dive down, yeah, into the details of such a paper. Which you cannot do anymore at the SMS because time is too limited. And as I said before, in your business school or in such a round at your business school, there's only a small fraction of the papers really in the direction of each researcher. While in the IG, we can bundle a much bigger part of that.
Got it. And of course, you're talking about virtual presentations, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay, yeah, that's a very interesting idea. So really to promote the research agenda of the IG by taking advantage of our common interests a little bit.
Exactly.
Thank you, Christoph. Yeah. Yeah, I'll think about that. And I think that's something that we could really do. And
we could volunteer for such a paper if you want to, yeah? And give a presentation on that if you are looking for people, but there are many others out there.
Yes.
And why I think it's helpful, for example, I was looking for the last 10 presentations of such papers we had at University of St. Gallen. I have to say only 1 dealt with the issue of cooperative strategies, and the 9 others were M&A, were internationalization, whatsoever, which are interesting topics, but they are not in my domain. While in the IG, they are in the domain of us all.
Yes, of course. And that's probably true for, like you said, for all of us. We do have, that's fantastic, Christoph. Thank you for that. And I think you've seen there's an organization that sponsors regular paper presentations of topics on Asian business. I get that all the time. I don't attend any of them, but that would be something similar. Yeah. Okay, great. Anything else?
Maybe a related comment to what Christoph just said. So it might be interesting for people who want to join our community to have kind of access to some resources that we think are like kind of a curated collection of resources, maybe papers or presentations that encapsulate what this IG is about. I know Nuno does great reviews on many interorganizational alliance topics, and having something similar for people to get a sense about the research that we're all doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if any of us teaches, like, for example, like a doctoral seminar on cooperative strategies. Just posting those syllabi might be useful.
Yeah,
thank you, Margaret.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Or even teaching syllabi, not necessarily for PhD students, but even for other levels. Like I think other divisions have had some master classes in topics. Would be great if we see how more senior people have taught core topics in the profession. I mean, in the IG.
Yes, which by the way, it's another idea for a potential webinar would be like a master class for doctoral students. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for those ideas.
I think Nuno has a.
Nuno, did you have something?
Oh no, it was just to reinforce that I think this idea of putting together some a set of syllabi is very interesting. As a matter of fact, I spent some time in the afternoon looking for syllabi at the intersection of conventional topics in cooperative strategies and more novel topics, like as we've been discussing for some of the webinars. And yeah, it seems hard to come by. So maybe some in terms of syllabi, not only about the classics and usual things we know, but also in terms of new connections to different kind of domains, and that might be interesting. So I think. And aligns with the webinar ideas we also discussed before.
Great. So once we get our new set of reps at large, which we'll have next month, I'll convene a meeting with them and talk about these ideas and see which ones we can implement. They're great set. Okay, so on that topic, if any of you would like to run, or if you have ideas for people you'd like to nominate, please email Umit or myself. And that's the way we will implement these ideas, of course, with boots on the ground. This is the website I mentioned. I have the IG social event, Umit, as Sunday at 6:30. Someone was asking about the timing.
Sounds good. Yes, it feels right, actually. Probably you are right. I was also thinking, I just do not remember. So that's why I had asked Anna. That sounds about right.
Okay. And that's going to be joint with competitive strategies.
Competitive strategies, yes.
So that will be a nice event to attend.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything else? Anything else? Okay, if not, then I will draw this meeting to a close. Thank you all for coming, for participating, and for sharing your ideas. And I will see you at the conference.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Bye all.